back, my friends. My name is Eric. This is Mellow7 Gaming, and we are not really going to play Battletech today, but we need to talk about it. We need to talk about that. We'll maybe talk a little bit about Mech Warrior as well, because obviously the fact that I'm working on making my own Mech Pilot's helmet, kind of based on the style of Mech Warrior, although this is just this is the initial prototype, proof of concept, way for me to screw around and figure out stuff. This is not the final one. Should tell you that I am continuing to play. I will be continuing to play Battletech franchise computer games. In fact, we'll be continuing to play Battletech from Hare Brained Schemes and Mech Warrior 5 as well. So, but give me a second to get all this off, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what we were going to do. All right, so we are. This is how we were at the end of our first fight against the clans. In bad shape. You can see here that this stalker has nothing left except a couple heat sinks and some narc ammo. This one's in better shape in that it at least has guns left. The left side, guns and ammo, well, actually both legs are fine. But we are missing still a fair amount, including the engine. This assassin is done. I mean, there's nothing of it left. This Highlander is 116 days out. I don't know why 116 comes after 120. That does seem a little bit odd. We seem to have found a little bit of a bug there. This Atlas is 83 days out. We have our financial report in 7 days, and I believe we owe a lot. 555, so we don't even have enough to do that. Now, we could potentially sell some of our cheap mechs. That'd be fine. That'd get us to the next planet, but it probably wouldn't get us alive long enough to survive getting our mechs finished, right? 116 days, you know, we're going to have, let's see, what was the last day this one was due? In 7 days. So that's 114 days. So we owe it 7, 37, 67, 97. And we wouldn't have a whole lot left. So we would need at least about 2.5 mil just to survive until our last assault mech that is repairable is repaired. So that would get us an awesome, an Atlas, and a Highlander, and a slew of light mechs. Well, we'd probably have to sell all the light mechs to get to that 2.5 mil. So it probably won't give us enough mechs to do anything. So I think what we have to do is we have to consider Morningstar's Marauders the end, the loss. Morningstar's out for 120 days. Our political advisor, dead, gone. You know, I mean, we can take a look real fast at the Memorial Hall here and kind of see, you know, Whiskey's out. And then from a standpoint of active pilots, you know, it's not as bad, I guess. Redwood's out for 35 days. Oscar's out for 18. Hard Rock's out for 87. So we're down, legitimately, those four pilots are all out. Whoops, for a while. Come on, Barracks, let it. It just keeps fading away whenever I try to mouse onto it. Which means we do have pilots left. Tread's not terrible. Stinky's not terrible. Meat's okay. So we have 4 pilots left. But what we don't have realistically is a functioning mercenary company. We can't pay the bills, and we can't repair anything in time to go somewhere. And also, on top of that, we would have to travel. Now, I did look at the star map. We could get to a couple places reasonably quickly, you know, within a month, you know, a jump or two. Most of them are within a couple systems realistically, so they're pretty easy to get to. There are maybe 3 or 4 half-skull missions. But I think what we do instead is we write this off. Morningstar can't hold it together with the huge financial burden that we've been hit with. The ship is in reasonable shape. We can't afford to pay anybody, but we could potentially afford to just bail as long as nobody wanted paychecks to get back to the nearest friendly system and let people go. And so I think that's probably how the storyline has to work, with the Marauders folding up under first contact with the clans. And I think probably our first contact with the clans is probably similar to what everybody's would have been in that, which is why they got rolled so hard and for so long. However, after a short pause there, our I think what we're going to say is our our sacrifice is not in vain, right? Our information, we lived, and our information and that of the political advisor, who was streaming the whole time, obviously, right? All that information gets back home. And so I think what we do is we rebirth a unit. We'll just edit this save again. We'll get rid of people. We'll add some pilots in, that sort of stuff. And what we'll do is we'll create a new kind of military unit that rolls in on the heels of Morningstar's Marauders with lessons learned. So we'll come in, we'll do some half skull missions. We will come in with a slightly smaller but more specialized lance. And like I said, I'll go through and I'll build that within the save generator, or I'll attempt to. I'll see how close I can get. We did run into a few little issues with it. And then we'll be back essentially, shortly after this date. It says 787 days remaining. We're not really paying too much attention to that. I may even, just for the sake of the simulation, dump all the pilots except Morningstar, sell the mechs that we have, and then fly back to Lao space. And what we can do is we can start at a date that this information potentially could have gotten back, and then fly back out with our new lance, just to get the dates to kind of match our storyline, right? We've been destroyed. That information needs to go back to Lao space, and then they have to muster a unit, build the mechs, get what they want going on, and based on those dates, I don't think anything else is going to be available. As far as dates go for mechs, there was only 1 or 2 mechs that weren't available in 3050, and I think they're not available until like 3055 was the date within the database. So the mechs that are out there are the mechs that are there, and we can come up with a slightly more specialized Lao military response to the clans and see if we can do a little bit better. So that's my plan for Battletech. We'll essentially continue this save, but it will be a completely different unit that when we return, and it will be, like I say, the Lao government military response. It may still be a mercenary unit, right? They're a black bag kind of, special forces type of unit that goes in. Plausible deniability if we feel the need to hit at somebody else, because we still don't know for sure how things are going to shake out politically with the other systems that are falling. And it may be that, maybe the Clan Wolf is going to be happy with a big chunk of Kirita, and they don't really need to go a lot farther. Maybe we can help make that happen. Who knows, what devious stuff there needs to be a little bit of plausible deniability there. So that will be the plan going forward on Battletech. I'll probably try to get it going tonight, and so maybe tomorrow you'll start to see these missions pop up. I'm probably just going to run Monday through Friday, going through for pretty much all my series. I was doing this one 7 days a week, whereas I was doing everything else kind of Monday through Friday. And then if I have some special, maybe a first look mission, or maybe an AI challenge or something special like that, maybe that'll show up on our Saturdays and Sundays. But I think I'm just going to do a Monday through Friday. But we still probably will continue with 2 to 3 series pretty consistently, at least until the school semester starts. And then I find out how much time I don't have that I think I have, or until I get hired for one of the jobs I applied for. So that's my plan going forward for Battletech. Mech Warrior, we're going to start a new series. We're going to be using Mech Tech for it. That was my plan all along. Now that the Epic Store is open, I believe Mech Tech was one of the mods we could use, so we'll toss that in. We'll toss in the AI mods for tabletop as well, and we'll go from there. Before we do the full campaign, I may do a couple quick experiments on AI for that to see how the units deal with the tabletop AI, as I talked about in the last Mech Warrior video. And we may also do a couple other things. I know there was a comment asking about artillery, so maybe we'll run out with a long tom and some arrow fours and just kind of putz around in some instant combat type of missions. So we may do 2 or 3 or 4 instant action missions of some sort before we jump back into into a new campaign for Mech Warrior. But that's my plan for that going forward. So thanks for watching. As always, thumbs up, thumbs down. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you got some comments, if they get in quickly, like within a couple hours of this going up, then I may be able to take them into account for building the unit, because I do need to fly all the way back and fly all the way forward, and I won't do any of that till I edit this video. So anyway, that's it. Let's see you next time. Cheers.